This is Teachable Moments with April podcast, and I'm your host, April. Mental Illness Awareness Week is October 2nd through the 8th. I want to personally invite you to join us October 3rd for the National Day of Prayer for Mental Illness and Recovery. Remember, mental health is health. This is Teachable Moments with April podcast, and you guessed it, I'm your host, April. If you're a returning listener and a part of the Teachable Moments with April podcast family, welcome back. For those who are checking me out for the first time, well, hello and welcome. To everyone listening, be encouraged and look for the teachable moments that are all around us. Enjoy. It's today. The sun will rise over towns from east to west. In the heart of America, where innovation and resilience meet, a new chapter has begun. In a country where manufacturing has been in retreat since 1945, we're bringing it back. The sleeping giant of American craftsmanship and production has awakened. And Q-Cells is ready, because we've been creating solar energy systems for over 2 decades. We made the biggest commitment to solar power and manufacturing by any company in the U.S. history. We're putting our passion where our purpose is in partnership with companies, communities, and homeowners, making solar easier, more reliable, more affordable, and simply better. And our complete energy solutions provide technology you can rely on, day or night, to transform and store energy for the power you need. It's an American renaissance, an American workforce, using sustainable materials sourced in America, powered by American energy, and by our people burning the midnight solar to uncover the next brilliant ideal. Our innovation factories run 24/7, building solar energy that's making our communities more resilient and creating jobs across the country, recognizing that every step, every panel, and every project paves the way for a brighter future. It is time for transformation, time to tap this country's unlimited capacity for reinvention, time to deliver on the promise of tomorrow. Starting today, Q-Cells, where tomorrow begins. Mental Illness Awareness Week occurs during the first week of October. Millions of people live with a mental illness, and it not only affects them, but also those around them, their family, their friends, and their co-workers. Mental Illness Awareness Week is run in collaboration with the National Alliance of Mental Illness, known as M.I.A.W, and their goals are to raise awareness of mental illnesses, fight discrimination, and provide support through Mental Illness Awareness Week. This has become a dedicated time for mental health advocates across the country to come together as one unified voice. During this week, events are held to promote community outreach and public education concerning mental illnesses. Events include art, music events, educational sessions, advertising campaigns, health fairs, prayer services, movie nights, candlelight vigils, and benefit runs. Mental Illness Awareness Week coincides with similar campaigns in the early October, such as World Mental Health Day and National Depression Screening Day and National Day Without Stigma. So now let's look at the history of Mental Illness Awareness Week. Now, the National Alliance of Mental Illness started as the parents They were known as the Parents of Adult Schizophrenics, which was a nonprofit association that was made up of family support groups that were seeking answers and treatments for their loved ones affected, by this mental illness. They had then changed their name to Alliance for the Mentally Ill, a San Mateo. Now, the creation of this organization spurred a national movement where members pushed for more research, greater support, and broader public awareness. The growth of this movement resulted in the establishment of the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization. Now, in 1979, the National Alliance on Mental Illness was incorporated. The Alliance opened its first offices in Washington in 1980, and in 1982, it was appointed to the National Mental Health Advisory Council. In 1984, Shattered Dreams and Scrapbook were aired nationally. These were the organization's first public service announcements. Now, in 1990, the organization also established their own hotline. And in the same year, Congress officially established Mental Illness Awareness Week. Now, in 1999, the Alliance participated in the first White House Conference on Mental Health and launched their own self-named family support group. Now, the Stigma Free campaign was launched in 2015, and it was celebrated by the lighting of the Empire State Building green. That year, they also partnered with Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated, which was the nation's oldest sorority founded by African American college women. Their goal was to expand mental health education, awareness, and support activities on campuses and in local communities. And then in 2019, Stop the Stigma, a conversation about mental health, featuring their alliance and their experts, was aired on CBS This Morning. It was also in 2019 that the Alliance Provider program became part of the curriculum for the Des Moines University School of Medicine for third-year medical students. So if you want to know or take some suggestions on how to observe Mental Illness Awareness Week, we have some tips here, 3 to be exact. First, watch the Mental Illness Awareness Week videos. Watch the videos that feature real people sharing their lived experiences. You can get to learn some of the symptoms and effects of mental illness. Tip number 2, share on social media. Use your social media handles to pass the message. You can use media graphics and logos that the Alliance provides to get the conversation going. And tip number 3, download additional resources. Download readings and additional resources that will increase your knowledge of mental health. With this information, support a loved one struggling right now with mental illness. So let's talk about 5 facts about mental illness. Number 1, your mental health can change over time. Mental health is dependent on many factors, and this means that a person's mental health can change over time due to varied circumstances. Number 2, mental health problems are very common. In the U.S., statistics reveal that there are about 1 in 20 people with a serious mental illness. Fact number 3, there is no single cause. Now, there are several factors that contribute to the risk of suffering from a mental illness. Tip number 4, or fact, children can also have mental health issues. Now, about 50% of children show the first signs of mental health disorders before they're 14 years, and 3/4 of mental health disorders begin before age 24. Fact number 5, there are hundreds of mental health illnesses, and right now there are more than 200 types of mental illness. And lastly, we have a question. Why Mental Illness Awareness Week is important? Why is it so important? Well, we have 3 top reasons. It highlights a taboo topic. There are certain stigmas still around mental illnesses. And during this week, the first week of October, this is a time to break down these stereotypes, misinformation, and discrimination. The second reason is it highlights real-world experiences. The information shared contains stories and experiences of those living every day with mental illness. Their shared experience makes this illness very relatable, and it brings people forth and starts the conversation, and therefore they can heal and get help and assistance. The third reason why it's so important is it saves lives. By reaching out and creating conversation and allowing discussion about mental health, you are showing support and hopefully understanding. This is needed by all the people living with this condition and those that love and care for them. Are you ready to transform your church from a building to a welcoming home? Are you ready to create lasting first impressions? We've been right where you are and have felt the way you're feeling. When you decided to go into ministry, it was because you felt a call to seek and save the lost, to make disciples, and to fulfill the Great Commission. It's time to feel encouraged about the importance of what you do and challenged to improve and innovate on how you do it. It's time to learn how to connect with people and make them want to keep coming back. The process to start reaching and keeping is simple. Our focus is on creating welcoming environments for members and guests each weekend. We are here to encourage you. Get ready. First Impressions Conference Fall 2023. Coming soon. You were just listening to Teachable Moments with April podcast. I truly hope you enjoyed this episode. We invite you to stay connected with us on the other social media platforms of ours, which is TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube. Also, we'd like to invite you to check out our official podcast landing page on podpage.com/Teachable Moments with April to see all our content in one place and leave personal messages, feedback, and more.